Good evening, and thanks for joining us for another edition of Focus on UH Hilo with Dr. Rose Tseng. I'm Ken Hupp from the Office of University Relations, and we're pleased that you've joined us for tonight's show as we observe our 10th season of highlighting university programs, up-and-coming developments, and UH Hilo's partnerships with various community organizations. Tonight, we'll wrap up our fall semester of programs, and we'll do so by actually looking ahead. Spring is a very busy time for student activities, and this evening we're going to take a look at two of the big signature events on the spring calendar. That is the UH Hilo Ho'olaulea and Breakthrough Adventures. These are two events where the students make quite an impact as they give back to both the campus community and the community at large. We'll be talking with two leaders who play a major role in these events, and that conversation will begin in just a few minutes. First, it's my pleasure to welcome to the show our Chancellor and the host of Focus on UH Hilo, Dr. Rose Tseng. Good evening, Dr. Tseng.
Good evening, Ken.
Well, we've reached the end of another semester, and that means fall commencement. And what are some of the highlights of this year's event?
Well, we have 269 graduates from bachelor, master degrees, and we are going to have the speaker. The keynote speaker is Wayne Hamano, who's the vice chair of Bank of Hawaii. He's not only vice chair but also chief commercial officer. Wayne is from Hilo, and he was on UH Hilo's advisory board. So we're very pleased that he's willing to come and talk to us.
And I think we've got his picture, so we can get his picture, show everybody what Wayne looks like. This is Wayne Hamano, who's going to be the keynote speaker. There we go.
And we have a student speaker called Gladys Tong. I understand she's from, her picture's there. She's an international student from China, Singapore, and Hong Kong. And she's apparently selected as a speaker, and she's a very dynamic student.
Okay, and at the tender age of 18, she'll be one of the youngest to have ever earned a degree from the university. Now, last month, in conjunction with International Education Week, a pair of new surveys were released that illustrated the impact that international students have on both the local, state, and national economy. Here's one of those graphs right there that shows, for example, that on the island of Hawaii, $5 million was the economic impact during the 08-09 academic year. Nationwide, it was $17.6 billion, and then you see this statewide impact of $160 million. What's your take on these findings, Dr. Tseng?
Well, I don't like to only talk about dollars. Of course, that's not the wrong thing to talk about. You know, I just came back from American Associates State University President's meeting, and many universities are going after the international student. Part of it's financial, but I would say it's quality of education. And we have a lot of international students here. Not only they pay full tuition, but also they are really helping our students to understand the global economy, and they themselves bring families here, relatives here. Potentially they are good friends later. And you know, maybe I diverge. I was in China and Taiwan and Hong Kong, Korea this last few weeks, and basically doing international student night for UH Hilo and visiting different universities. You will see some of our graduates in Taiwan and China and in Korea and Hong Kong. They are very excited. They want to promote UH Hilo. They want to promote America, Hawaii, and they are very successful. So, you know, it is something that help them and help our university, help our local students as well. Quality of education, global economy, and everything.
Okay. Now, there certainly is an economic factor that because of the economic downturn, it does affect them as well as everybody else in trying to come over here. And I know that you have been working very hard to go and try and, you know, keep these contacts and keep the pipeline going. Are you fairly optimistic that we're going to be able to at least be able to go and keep the flow of students going back and forth?
I think so. Basically, we haven't really gone full-blown recruitment, but because of my contact, and I was United Nations consultant in China for 6 years. I grew up in Taiwan and live in different part of the world. I was able to, just using my old friendship with higher education and getting people, and once they get here, Hawaii is just easy to sell. And we have good education, good weather, and culture-wise for Asian students are not going to have a culture shock. And so it's just very easy to sell. And the fact that I met these students, actually some Hispanic students from UH Hilo, I met 2 Hispanic students. They are in MBA program in Taiwan now, and 2 Taiwan National University are here. So we have a lot of exchanges, and they are very happy. They said, oh, you know, UH Hilo gave us good background for business. Now I'm an MBA in National Taiwan University. I'm doing very well. And when I finish, I can work in the United States or China or Taiwan or Singapore or any Asian countries. I feel very at ease. Just, you know, things like that make me feel really good. We saw about hundreds of students just this last trip I had.
Outstanding. Well, on our last program, we announced the appointment of Kayu Kimura as interim executive director for the Imiloa Astronomy Center, and we pretty much covered her qualifications, which are considerable, but I wanted to get your perspective as chancellor and maybe talk a little bit about the satisfaction of being able to appoint her to this position given her background, and how this really sort of epitomizes Imiloa's mission of blending science and culture.
Well, you said the last part. The whole Imiloa's goal is to integrate culture and science, and we built that just to do that. And you know, she herself, Kayu, started as a Hawaiian language student and really want to learn the culture. Then she's kind of worked in the design of exhibit with us when we were building Imiloa. She was one of the program, I guess, exhibit planner. So she learned, and now she's very interested in science and culture, and she's really a very, very hardworking, and really she herself is an integrated culture and science. She understands the importance of integrate that together. So I'm very pleased. She's getting her master's degree, and she's worked there 4 years already from beginning to now, and she's been very, very successful in everything she does. So I'm very pleased.
Outstanding. And finally, I wanted to do a little bit of a follow-up on a show that we did earlier this year. On Monday, November 23rd, UH Hilo hosted its annual visit from the Blood Bank of Hawaii at the campus center, which is a long-time annual November tradition here. And it was an outstanding success. As we take a look now at the totals, we're pleased to announce that our UH Hilo Ohana and members of the community donated 129 pints, which was 4 pints more than our donor goal. That total has the potential to save 387 lives, and of that amount, 47 pints actually came from first-time donors. So a big mahalo to everyone who turned out to give the gift of life, and the countless individuals who organized, staffed, and provided the support that made this event possible. And I understand that the Blood Bank will be coming again in January, and our College of Pharmacy is going to be organizing this, so we'll have more on that coming up later. And now, with the conclusion of our news updates, let's move on to tonight's conversation.
Again, I want to thank everybody doing the blood drive. This is very important. Okay, the next we're going to talk about a completely different subject. Let me introduce the guest here. The one in yellows, Ellen Kusano, our director of Campus Center. She's one of the person who has groomed a lot of students for many years. She just received an award last year for outstanding, I guess, Campus Center director in the whole nation. Thank you. And the other guest wearing red, our UH Hilo color, is Kamuela Bannister. He is the director of Breakthrough Adventure Coordinator, and he's also USA University's USA, how does it? University Hawaii Student Association's key member. So thank you.
Well, thank you both for joining us this evening. And of course, we're going to be talking about the Ho'olaulea and Breakthrough Adventures. And I'd like to begin with you, Ellen. Give us a little overview of the Ho'olaulea and its role in student activities and community outreach.
Well, Ho'olaulea is an opportunity for our campus and our students in particular to say thank you to the community, because we know that it's really, we wouldn't be as successful as we are without the community support. And the Big Island community has been very, very supportive of our students and the different efforts that they've done. So back in 1995, the Student Association, USA, decided to say thank you by putting on this major musical event. And it's been a success ever since.
Okay, and essentially just giving a little bit of an overview, what actually takes place during this event. Is it an all-day affair?
It's almost an all-day affair, and the older I get, the longer the day seems to be. But this year we'll start at 10 a.m. and during the daytime hours we have, as I'm not sure if the photo is up there, but we have hula halaus, we have keiki come in, we have keiki land, there are educational exhibits, craft and food vendors. It's a very family-oriented kind of activity, and you can come and sit around and just spend your day and listen to really great music. And then as the sun goes down, it kind of turns over into more a college crowd kind of music event, and this year it's going to be part of the daytime part will be on the library lanai at the campus, and the evening part will be at the campus center. And what you're seeing on the screen right now is where the evening part will be. It's the campus center plaza.
Okay, I wanted to go and get a student's perspective on this as we take a look at one of the groups performing. Kamu, as a student, you can talk about what it means to have an event like this on campus, especially just as you're beginning a brand new semester. You've been off for the winter break and you're trying to go and sort of dial back into concentrating on school and your studies and everything.
As a student, I really find this, going to college, I thought I'd be seeing concerts along with school, right? So I think that's what a lot of students expect to see throughout the year. But it's also a great opportunity to bridge out to the community, and it really brings a lot of people together.
Okay, and Dr. Tseng, as Chancellor, how does an event like this help to sort of sell and market the university to prospective students as well as the community as you continue this effort of cultivating this college town atmosphere?
Well, I think everything, sometimes you answer all my your question. Yeah, it is cultivating the town-gown relationship, and the student like Kamuela, can describe that project more than I can. I wish I were a student now, to be honest with you. I mean, they are doing meaningful things to help the community. They are doing things that really benefit future. So that's much more important than they are just going to concert or just go enjoy. So this is very, very good. I think I'm proud that our student organized this kind of thing.
Yeah. But the community at large really needs to be able to go and look at the university, and as well as seeing it as a place of learning. Is equally important, or at least almost important, that they be able to take a look and say, that's a fun place too. Yeah.
Exactly. Why do you want to send a student to college if they hate it? So it is the student have to enjoy and have to learn, has to really also feel good as a citizen.
Okay, now, Ellen, I understand that this event is sponsored by SAC and several other student organizations. Who are they? And then can you sort of describe what is the general overall theme and objective of the various student organizations, what they try to do and accomplish?
Okay. Ho'olalea is a joint activity of the Student Association, the Student Activities Council, the Board of Student Publications, and University Radio Hilo, which is our student radio station. And these activities as they work together, they're using their expertise in different areas, and the student organizations are an opportunity for the students to be able to practice the skills in real life that they're learning the concepts and theories in the classroom. Things like communication, team building, marketing, public relations. Our student radio station has a cadre of practicing DJs, marketing people, news director. Our student publications have, under that is Kekalahea, our student newspaper, and they've just gone to a new format, so if you haven't seen one, pick one up. It's really looking very professional. Our student association are one of the things they're very well known for is their lobbying efforts at the legislature, and Kamu will be part of that team coming up in the new session starting in January. Our Activities Council puts on various activities, but they're also learning in that process how to work with other people. They're learning skills that are going to help them when they get out into the professional world.
Okay, so is this essentially where the nuts and bolts work of leadership development is sort of honed and refined, the kind of stuff that you really couldn't really teach in a classroom?
It really is, and one of the things that's really great is that the students have an opportunity to make mistakes and learn to fix those mistakes so that when they get into their professional life, they know what to do when a conflict comes up, when the budget falls short, when somebody doesn't do their part of a project. They're getting that kind of experience that's really quite invaluable.
Now, Kamu, Ellen had just mentioned you're going to be part of the legislative team with USA. Can you talk a little bit about what that involves and what you'll be doing?
Okay, in January we're going to be attending the opening ceremony in the ledge. It's still a learning process for me. Right now, USA just put out a USA survey for the students. We are working to compile those things, and with that student feedback, we talk to the administration and faculty, like Chancellor, and then we try to come up with a plan about how to approach senators and how to seek the best possible way to ultimately get funding for certain things.
Okay. Now, have you done a legislative session before, or is this going to be your first?
This is going to be my first year. I'm very excited. Actually, it's my first year in USA, so like Ellen said, it is a learning process, and I'm very excited.
Dr. Tseng, as you take a look at these different organizations and how they develop leadership, how's that model evolved over the years? I mean, did it used to be that we just all tried to go and teach this in the classroom, so is this sort of an evolution and a more hands-on approach and model to developing leadership skills amongst our students?
I think we've been successful gradually. That's true. I've been in different universities as chancellor too. My first 5 years as chancellor in California, and now that's 12 years here. I see every year that they always worry, the student organization is going to be okay, is the student organization okay? The last couple of years I think is very, very good, like your group, and they come to ask me and Gerald DeMello about the legislative things, what do we need to do, and they're willing to listen. They can't do the whole thing themselves, but they have to learn. It's the learning process. It's a learning process, and they are making a lot of difference. They always wear this red shirt to the legislator, and people know, oh, UH Hilo students are here. They really help us, because for me to say we need Hawaiian language building, I need Hawaiian language building, they saw me for 12 years. But if they see new students from Hawaii, from our campus, and saying, oh, we need it because I'm, my background and my interest in teaching Hawaiian, whatever, we need this, the legislator just warm to them.
Well, I know the audience is always changing, so they may not have heard this story before, but I think that the real great example of the difference that students have made at the legislature is probably still got to be the Student Life Center, and maybe you can just sort of share with how their involvement really helped push that one over the top.
Well, Student Life Center, I would say they basically, it's their thing. They really, they sell it with more heart and soul. I'm sure the other ones too, Science Technology Building and Hawaiian Language Building. But Student Life Center, I think they made, they just made so much difference. For me to say, my students don't have any place to do exercise, don't have any, it's not as strong as saying, we have nothing to do. And our gym is like 3 machines that's been 10-year-old, all rusted, and things like that. And then we brought them for a picture, and then the student led them. It was very successful, and I have to thank those students who are actually no longer here. And many of them were your predecessors, and they said, by the time we got this building, we won't be here, but it's still worth it. And some of them are graduate students here now. They saw it, but most of them already left, becomes citizens of. Anyway, but yes, I think without them, we probably could not get a Student Life Center. And it's a beautiful center. I'm a member too, and faculty and staff can join with pay, but students don't have to. They have a membership total package. But it's very, very good, and without them, it won't work. The Hawaiian Language Building, I'm counting on them too, because that is one that this is our signature for Hawaiian, culture and language revitalization. We tried that for 6-7 years already. Mm-hmm. So I think this is it, the year.
This is the year for the big push. Now let's move on to our discussion on breakthrough adventures. First, Kamuela, for those who maybe are not familiar with this particular project and initiative, what exactly is Breakthrough Adventures? Okay, Breakthrough Adventures is an alternative eco-adventure service learning program that is put on by the Student Service Corps in spring, particularly spring break. During that time, we traditionally travel to outer islands and do community service projects for 4 days, and the remaining 3 days we have free time to hike, go beach, to complement the activities. And what I mean by alternative spring break is this is a drug and alcohol-free event and a program. Okay. So here at the university. I always love it. We get to go and say outer islands now, and we live on a neighbor island. I used to live on Oahu, and outer islands always meant everything outside of Oahu, so it's kind of nice. I like the sound of that too. In taking a look at what students, faculty, and staff do, what would you say are the benefits that the respective parties, meaning UH Hilo and the community, get from this activity? Right. Well, a large part of our participant base is out-of-state students, so this gives them an opportunity to learn, particularly the Hawaiian culture, outside of a school setting. Our theme is Makahana Kaike. Through work comes knowledge, and it's pretty self-explanatory. Okay, now what's the level of participation been like? Last year I seem to remember making about 6 runs to the airport, in which my pickup truck was fully loaded up with luggage for students who were heading off to their assignments. So it sounded like you had a pretty large group last year. Absolutely. We had 82 students participate last year on various islands, Maui, Kauai, Lanai, and Molokai. That was the largest program yet. This year we're expecting to expand the program, which is very exciting stuff. Now, how do you go about picking the projects and or the places that you go to each year? It's partly, as you know in Hawaii, it's partly about who you know and where it needs work. We're always looking for opportunities to give back to the land, particularly. But we're looking for it seems like you're looking for various cultural, environmentally type of projects that can be done. Right. Okay. Now, how do you get your student volunteers? Do you go out and have to recruit them, or is this sort of a project that sells itself and that students just sort of know that when spring break comes around, it's Breakthrough Adventures, and they're like beating down the doors to sign up? Well, there's 2 types of participants. There's leaders, BTA leaders, which we recruit during the fall, and then we put them through a series of trainings. That is a little bit more selective process. But we also have a participant base that is open to all students, faculty, and staff. It's once they hear about it, it's pretty. It sells itself, like you said. What do you look for in terms of students who you think will do well in Breakthrough Adventures? Honestly, aside from the leaders, we were looking for leadership qualities, but for participants, anybody willing to learn and open to new ideas and learning. So it's wide open for students. Okay.
To get their hands dirty, and that's kind of good, fun.
Yeah. In many of the sites, they're not staying at the Hilton Hotel. They might be camping, they might be in cabins. We've had groups in tents, so it's got to be an adventurous kind of person too.
They help to clean up, they help in the environment, right? So that's good. Mm-hmm.
Now, Dr. Tseng, 2 of the themes you've heavily promoted as Chancellor, giving back as a good neighbor, and more recently sustainability. So how do you see this event fostering those twin goals?
I think we'll be ahead of time. I think our student in UH Hilo is, the fact that you have 82 students student, you want more, you may have more this year. I mean, our students just naturally believe sustainability, believe in help the nature, make the nature better, and you know, I'm very proud of them. They organize this. Apparently, you are the coordinator, right? It's not easy to organize 82 people go to some new places, you know, and do a lot of work and you know, and stay in not Hilton. And so you're doing that very, and I've heard students coming back really feel, oh, now I appreciate nature. Now I appreciate, you know, that we have to maintain this world beautiful. And this, you know, so that's just that itself is more than you go to some other vacation place. This is great.
Okay. Now, it's got to cost you a bit to go and do this. I mean, airfares being what they are. So, what do you have to do your own fundraising too, and what sort of activities do you do?
Majority of our fundraisers are put on by our leaders once we select our leaders. We do have a silent auction that will be coming up soon. Holalea, we do a food booth, and we do car washes, sweetbreads, really whatever we can do to
rummage sale
to generate money. Yes.
And I've hosted a couple of those.
Yes, at Ken's garage.
In my garage, yes. Now, let's take a look at just a couple of shots from some past events. I think we have the first one up on the screen. Maybe you can just tell us what we're looking at here.
Okay, this is a group that went to Maui a couple years back, and they're working in the Lo'i. A big part of Breakthrough Adventures is touching on the Hawaiian culture, you know, and the local culture. So this was an excellent opportunity for them.
Okay, and obviously they weren't afraid to get their hands dirty because they definitely did.
This is a group on Kauai. They worked over at Koke'e.
Okay.
A lot of evasive outplanting. This is actually my other co-coordinator, Kamuela Barnett. She participated on Kauai at Grove Farms, and she's really fast for the camera. I got her 4 times in there.
Okay, this is actually her doing that, the breakthrough breakdance, huh? Just for lack of a better word of it. Okay, so now you're hoping to go and have you know, an even bigger turnout for this year. Have you got some of your projects lined up at this point?
We do. We're going to stick with Molokai. Molokai was the first Breakthrough Adventures Service Learning work site. So we're having Molokai along with Lanai, Kaho'olawe. We are working with Access with PKO along with Kirk. And this year will be the first year that we have locations on this island, which will be very exciting. We just spoke to Edith Kanakole Foundation about possible workplace in Waipio Valley, and we're still open to other locations on the island, but we're very excited, obviously, because you said the cost of airfare and stuff like that.
Okay. I would imagine that you are probably going to have to turn people away from getting that Kaho'olawe assignment. I mean, that is, you know, a chance to go to that island is something that maybe only happens once in a lifetime. Right.
It's interesting you say that, because a lot of our locations are exclusive access. You need to be part of a certain program like Breakthrough Adventures. So it's a unique opportunity for everybody. For Kaho'olawe, we're taking 20 students. Lanai is 12, Molokai is 12, and this island we're looking to expand, and we can host the most amount of students. We're looking to have 60 students on this island.
Okay.
That's good.
Is there still time for students to get involved if they haven't signed up yet? And if so, how do they do it?
Absolutely. Leader deadlines have already passed, so we have our leaders set. But for participants, our deadline will be in the end of January for off-island, and then students planning on staying on this island, the deadline is beginning of February. We will be tabling in Campus Center Plaza, along with, we have a website. If you simply Google Breakthrough Adventures, it's the first thing that comes up. It's hard to miss.
Okay, thank you very much, Kamuela, Ellen. Appreciate you joining us this evening to focus on UH Hilo. Well, Dr. Tseng, we got about 30 seconds left, but any final thoughts as we wrap up this semester and sort of put a bow on the year of 2009?
Well, I think we have done many good things. These two, you know, is a typical thing that we are very proud of. We have, all the show, the whole, it's variety. We have some program, an academic program, we have some student-related program, we have pharmacy, we have nursing. Everything we're doing is really help the community, help the students, and make us more globally competitive.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Tseng, and that's going to wrap up another edition and another year of Focus on UH Hilo. We'd like to wish all of you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Hope that you'll join us for our first show next year, which will be on January 20th. Until then, good night, everybody.
Good night.